So let's go.
All right.
Casa de Contratación.
That is an amazing
Useful for
pronunciation.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah.
So most of the, opinions online, it's like it's useful for government titles, but it's not a must
Yeah.
build. Now, I kind of feel the same way. It must be built adjacent to government plaza, so you have to build it in a specific way already.
That is the number one thing I have against it. I would rather
Right,
have the
because you
+1
use
adjacency.
government. Right, exactly. You use it for adjacency. Why would you build a freaking wonder next to it?
Yeah, and three governor titles are worthless, I would say. I get
By
that
by
people
that
use
time,
yeah,
right? By that time,
yeah.
they become less valuable,
I
right?
get
That's
people
when you
use a lot more governors than me because I have a very like, I don't go above the first, promotion on most governors, but even still, I don't think sacrificing government plaza adjacency early for a wonder later is worth it. Now the 15% to other cities, I forget, what exactly is the 15%? How does that work?
so non-home continent with a governor. So you get those governor promotions, you can actually hire governors
Oh
to
god,
place
that
them in
makes it even
non.
worse. I thought it was all non-home continent.
No,
God,
no,
I
no,
wanna
with
put
the
this in
governor.
era score. God, that's bad. I
And
honestly
and 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 the boosts are 15% to production gold, like, and faith. You know what I mean? You don't get culture out of it, you don't get science out of it. So it's one of the lower yield, uh
I think this is I think I'm putting this in era score, and this is where it's really important to state that the stated goal of the game is to win as fast as possible. Like, we're talking we're trying to win the game as fast as possible because I know people are gonna, like, have arguments about Casa being better, but if you're trying to win as fast as possible, this wonder provides nothing. This does
nothing.
absolutely nothing for me. Like, I thought it was 15% to all non-home continent cities. When you said it had to have a governor, it took away the one thing I thought it might provide.
I mean, unless your game must be so specific to make that wonder worth it,
Yeah.
right? Like you spawn on a split continent or split 3
I
continents or
could see,
something like
like,
that.
Spain, this would be really, really
Right.
strong.
Well, that's why it's contrasesión,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
in Spanish, right?
exactly.
There's a reason for it. I think we agree. I think where you dropping it? Error score?
Era score right below university, before statue of Zeus.
Yeah, government titles are still useful, in a
Yeah,
lot of games, so it's okay, but you just don't need to build a freaking wonder.
yeah,
Because guess what? The next wonder is Forbidden City. That wonder, right?
yeah,
That wonder you always build.
yes,
That wonder to me is an S tier,
yeah. Uh,
right?
I want to argue that it's high A tier. Um,
So what does it do? +5 culture,
yep.
and it just gives you a wild card policy slot.
Well,
+5 culture can be
I'll
pretty
put it
good.
in low S tier, and I'm gonna put, uh, not to jump ahead, but Portala Palace is gonna be high A. Yeah.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
I love Forbidden City, don't get me wrong. It's great, but if we're looking at S tier, it's weaker than everything else in S tier, even though I
Well,
like it more.
here's the thing with Forbidden City.
Yeah.
It's so easy to build.
Oh, yeah.
What we do is, right, you find a place with a
Find
bunch of
any city
chops,
with a
you
flat
chop.
tile with
Right, and
chops.
and chops. And
Yep,
all you have to do is put Magnus in there and chop it out.
yep.
Boom, you're done. That city can be at 3 population.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's an amazing return on investment, but I think Kilwa, Pyramids, Mausoleum, Oracle, Apadana have like, and I'm a huge champion for Forbidden
yeah.
City. I will fight to the death to say it's an amazing wonder. I just don't think it has the same overall impact just because you're getting it mid-game. If it was like an earlier wonder, it would be broken.
Yeah, and you're talking mid-game, whereas for me, it's like the first third of the game.
Yeah.
So it really depends, right? But
I personally
S
struggle
tier
to
is
get it.
good enough.
Yeah, I struggle to get it like, before turn 100, and that's why it's, like not as high up there in my like, and once again, I can't stress this enough. I love this wonder. It like you would have to look really hard to find a game where I didn't build it.
Yeah, yeah, and then we're trying to balance, right? We're trying
Yeah.
to balance between the different levels of play here on Deity, even on Deity. Deity, you should be finishing your games at below 250,
Yeah.
generally, or under 200, like
Yeah.
Soger. And Thomas has a good point that by that time, every wonder starts to lose value overall, right?
Yeah.
Because you just about to finish the game.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's like I said, the like now it's gonna like it would have to be absolutely broken game changing to like hit an A or an S tier. And I feel a free wildcard policy is just barely squeaking over that line.
Great Zimbabwe. Well, all right. So Great Zimbabwe is like a meme wonder.
Yeah.
First of all, really difficult to build. It must be adjacent to a cattle
Yep.
and a commercial hub with a market.
Yep.
So that's just from the start. It's already like difficult to build.
And cattle
I don't
tiles
know.
are not strong
Eh,
tiles.
Right,
So
and
you're
it's all
probably gonna
about
chop it.
gold. The wonder itself is all about gold. So
Yep.
it gives you +5 gold, which is like by that time is like, what the hell is 5
It's
gold?
pointless.
It gives you +2 gold for every bonus resource, so you can't chop them, I guess. By that time, you all of your resources are chopped, I guess. Um, 2 great merchant points and 1 trade route capacity.
Yeah. The trade route is the only thing that matters to me, because, like, you hit the nail on the head. Does the gold matter at that point? Like, it doesn't. Is it specifically to international trade routes? I wanna say it is, but
No, just trade routes from the city. I'm just wanna make sure that it's trade routes from the city that get +2 gold for every bonus resource in the city. So it's
okay.
like it's a very, very strict condition in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if you had, like, a Mali or a Portugal game that
Mhm.
just happened to have a cattle tile, like, where you would build your, commercial hub. Here's an important thing about Great Zimbabwe. You don't need to own the, cattle tile. It can be a city-states cattle tile, it can be you don't need to own that tile, it just has to be adjacent to your commercial hub.
Oh, well, right. So you have to have
You
adjacent
still you
commercial.
still need it, but it can be outside of the ring of your city.
Okay. Good point. Good
Yeah,
point.
but I would
Yeah.
say the only thing this provides is a trade route, and you're get as much as I love trade routes, for all the restrictions and the amount that you're gonna put into it, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, let's move on. I mean, I you putting it in the middle of error score, it would be a lower error score for me because literally just never build it
Okay,
in
but, like, look at what
really.
it's going up against on that far right. We got Mishinks, we got Chichen Itza, we got Huey,
Yeah, just pile them all up together. I don't see like because I feel like there are a lot of wonders like that,
that
and
just don't matter. Machu
just don't
Picchu.
matter. They just don't.
I'm surprised that people were championing Petra, but didn't say anything about Machu Picchu. I guess I guess that it's just as bad as I thought it was.
So
Yes.
Potala Palace, I would shoot for +2 culture, +3 faith. That's
Yeah.
fine, but it
Diplomatic
gives
point.
you a diplomatic policy slot and a diplomatic victory point.
Yep.
Whenever you play a diplomatic victory game, which I never do
Yeah.
anymore, but it's a wonder that directly impacts a victory
Yep.
type. And it's a diplomatic slot. And diplomatic slot is super important because if you're doing the suzerainty game, right?
Yeah.
You want to use those policies that give
Exactly.
you bonuses from your city states. So pretty important. Not cheap. It must be built on a hill adjacent to a mountain,
Yeah,
which is
the
really,
restrictions
really
are hard, and, a lot of times your mountain tiles are gonna be filled, with districts because of adjacency,
districts. Mhm.
and you also gotta look
Machu
at
Picchu.
yep,
Mhm.
and you also gotta look at, resources. A lot of times there are hills next to mountains, like your iron and stuff like that. It's a great uh
But it goes against, right? It's again, it's a choice,
yeah,
right? So here's your choice of like in this particular moment of the game. you have a choice of building a couple of wonders, right?
Yeah.
And you look at your list and you're like, okay, forbidden, that's great.
Yep.
And then I can build Casa or Potala.
Yep.
You try go and build Potala, obviously,
Yep.
right? So it's an A tier for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I can put it in S
Nope,
tier.
it's top of A tier because it does actually, I'm gonna put Colosseum up. I'm actually, the more I think about it,
Colosseum
Colosseum
is very
and,
good.
the Desert Iron Wonder, I think are both better than Portala, even though I build Portala more often. Diplomatic is number 3 after economic and or after wild card and economic. I still think it's a very strong wonder, and it comes early enough to be impactful, but Colosseum and Jekyll, how do you pronounce that iron one?
Jabal,
Jabal. I think those
Jabal
2,
Barkal.
yeah,
Yeah,
those 2 are vastly more impactful when you get them.
yeah.
Whereas Portala is really good, trust me, I want it, but if we're being honest, it's just not providing as much as, I mean, I might even put it
But
lower in
again,
A.
but you are at the point of the game where Coliseum and Jabal are already built, basically. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So like you're choosing to build Patala, like this ranking from least value to most should be also by era because it's unfair to compare Coliseum and Patala because they're
yeah,
so far apart. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
I
this is approximate. I just wanted to disclaim that.
yeah.
Next up, St. Basil's. That's dear to my heart. I actually proposed my wife in front of St.
Did you?
Basil's back, yeah.
Well,
That
that's
was like 13 years ago. Anyway,
did she say
plus three.
yes?
She was, you know what? Somehow it just happened.
Well, that was a
I,
mistake. I feel
I
bad for
submitted.
her.
She submitted somehow.
Oh, well, I mean, if you were there, how much vodka? How much vodka was involved?
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's vodka, it's pressure, it's not understanding the language. She was like, yes.
yeah. She was worried that you weren't gonna bring her back if she didn't say
I know.
yes.
Back to the wonder.
Yeah.
Plus 3 relic slots,
Yep.
which is cool if you're getting relics. Plus 100 religious tourism
Yep.
from this city.
Yep.
And then you improve your tundra tiles for this city. Plus 1 food, plus 1 production, and plus 1 culture.
Yep.
How amazing is that? It's another yield wonder. Now, it works best for religious tourism game. However, religious tourism game is
Is
to
awful.
me, yeah, I just don't see it. I don't fully understand. I don't understand at what point of the game it has like the highest impact to like make my game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Early game and, the problem is you have to spread your religion a lot for religious tourism to work.
mhm,
But
exactly.
now, what I'm going to say is this falls into the same vein as Hanging Sophia, where in a culture game, if you have 1 or 2 relics and you get this out early, you're gonna get, like, a lot of tourism out of it. It's gonna be your highest tourism, item, like, 100% of the time if you get it out early enough, but it provides nothing in any other game. So, it's like it's an amazing culture victory wonder, and it just doesn't really provide anything for any other victory type. So, I don't know if that's beat like, I wanna put
Well,
it in.
it's also like Civ, almost like becomes Civ specific
Yeah.
strong, like Russia and Canada, right? You need Tundra for it.
Yeah, you can build
Um,
it in any tile, though. The Tundra bonus is irrelevant.
oh, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
have very rarely built it in a Tundra city. My St. Basil usually affects 0 tiles. My Mausoleum and St. Basil usually affect the exact same number of tiles, which is 0.
Right. You know, I feel like this is the first time I realized it doesn't have to be built on the tundra.
Are you are you kidding me? Yeah, it just has to be on the flat tile. Just
Right.
actually, I don't think it's a flat tile. I think it's just a tile next to the city center,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it just adjacent to the city center.
Yeah, and that's another thing against it is it has to be next to the city center,
Yeah,
which are valuable tiles. Like those like city.
yeah, the aqueduct and the district. Yeah.
Yep. Uh, I wanna rank it higher because it's such a cornerstone to your ultra fast culture victories,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it
It's
literally
important.
provides 0. Like, it provides absolutely nothing to any other victory type, because even the relic slots don't matter in a religion game because you're gonna have enough temples to hold all your relics. Like, you
But
just are.
it, and it could have a limited impact in the culture game too,
Yeah.
depending on how you play it out. So it's like it has an impact, but not enough.
I mean,
So
I
it's
am I gonna put this
weird.
in era score? I feel like I feel like I might put it in era score the more I talk about.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna put it in the
Yeah,
very bottom of B, honestly, because it's situational, but that situation is rare. Like I said, in any culture game, if you get relics early and stuff, it will be your top tourism item, but it literally provides 0 outside of that.
yeah. Okay, okay. But those tundra tiles get so much better.
Why does that matter? I mean, I know that you're Russian, but, like, tundra tiles don't have to mean anything.
All right, so the next one there is actually wow. So Taj Mahal
Yes?
must be built next to a river. So
Yep.
you need a river,
Okay.
and it's +1 era score. So
So,
every era score 2 or more becomes 3 or more,
which
right?
which to me makes it worthless because if it was all era score +1, then levying troops is worth 2. Then,
You're right,
then
right,
you
right.
can
+1 era
really
score is so common.
yeah,
Yeah.
then you can really game the system. Taj Mahal is it is the definition like, I actually think that I think we finally found the worst wonder. Like, it is it provides nothing. Like, what? Like, if you're building a lot of wonders, you're already getting enough era score, and that's like, by this point, what are you getting that has multiple era score other than Civ specific era score
I
events?
mean, but this time on Deity, right? Like you're in the position where you can get that era score from
Yeah,
now on. You're in Renaissance era for crying out loud.
exactly. And
It's the last.
that's my problem with it. Like, by that point, you have so many options for era score that you don't need the bonus because you're not that far from parks, and parks are like a repeating era score.
Exact. Oh, that's a good point because
Like,
that I'm like thinking, what all of a sudden there is a switch because era score becomes just so easy,
yeah,
and arcs is a big part of it.
yeah.
Anyway, I agree. Torre del de Belem. I don't
What
know.
does this one
I don't.
do? I
Okay,
have 0
so
idea.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So number one, first of all, it's unlocked by mercantilism,
Yep,
right? It must be built on the coast
yep,
adjacent to land and harbor.
yep.
Okay, cannot be built on lake. Now, what does it do? It all international trade routes from the city receive +2 gold for every luxury resource at the destination. Get that, right?
Oh, that's nothing.
Right.
That is literally nothing.
All right, all right, all right. Then when it's constructed, cities not on your home continent receive the lowest production cost building they can currently construct. Does it mean that like
So
a
if you haven't
monument
built a
is
granary, you're gonna get a
or
granary or
or
a
a
monument.
monument?
Yeah.
Yeah, on all of your
Are
cities
yeah.
outside
Wow,
of your
that
city.
is bad. How much does that cost?
Wait, wait, wait. That's not all. Then you get +5 gold and you get +1 great admiral point.
You could have like, wow, I had
You
no
know
idea.
how much it costs? It costs exactly the same as Forbidden.
That is a crime. I feel like the game is scamming people. That is like a full on like internet scam. Like, here, buy this is a wonder, build it. Like, that costs the same as Forbidden City.
Yep. I mean, you just wonder who
Are
came up
you in
with
like
with these conditions.
like
Like you have to be
oh
like
my god.
making so much. Not even weed, because weed would make it easier. This made it so complex. Somebody was on meth or something
Yeah,
building
like,
this
this
thing.
is so
What is that?
weak. Like, it's
You know
so
what? You
weak.
were put in Taj at the end. I want to put this crap at the end.
I I I didn't think that Taj Mahal was gonna get beat. This that is offensive that that co how much does Taj Mahal cost?
Taj is the same as Torre.
That is offensive. Like, what are like, that how is that a wonder? How can you charge that much
How's that a
production?
wonder?
Like, how can you charge that much production for so minimal? Like like, I know it's next era, but, like, Oxford University, if you save it to the end of the game, you can unlock really good technology. Like, you can unlock end game technologies, and you can sorta game the system that way. Any wonder that provides, like, free stuff that isn't specific, you can game in that manner. But even if you were, like, to min-max this wonder, like, what is the best building that you can get in multiple cities, and how long do you have to wait to finish this wonder? To like, it ouch! I hate this. This might be my new least favorite wonder. I've built it a lot
You built
because
it
yes,
because you had nothing else to build.
yes, and now
Well,
I'm
yeah, it's
angry.
like
I should have picked something else. I should have picked anything else. Like, I'm
I
actually
know,
mad
but
that I've
running
built
a
this.
project would have been a better choice than building this freaking wonder. Anyway, all right. Bottom of the tier so far. I'd be curious to know. Can you separate Taj and Tor, like put them all the way to the end, so we know that they're literally the worst ones that we are
Yeah, like,
putting here.
those 2 should go to Saint Basil and propose to each other.
All right. Listen, last wonder of the Renaissance, Venetian Arsenal.
Yep, yep,
So cool. Two great engineer points, but the biggest thing that it does
uh-huh, yep,
is you receive a second naval unit
yep.
each time you train a naval unit anywhere, right? It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
have to be in the city. So, I mean, the requirements, it just needs to be built on the coast and adjacent to industrial zone.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's
there we
kind of
go.
funky. You literally have to plan for it.
You
However,
have to plan
this
for it.
wonder is so cool. I mean, you can double on armadas,
Yep.
fleets,
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh,
I
so
had a
great.
game with Babylon, Russian battleships. Oh my god, that was so awesome. It was so amazing.
Yep,
Um, if it's a naval map, water map, I totally build it just to
yeah,
exert my dominance over
okay.
the opponent. Love it, love it. Because it competes at this point. I mean, I built my Forbidden City, maybe I'm building Potala, and Venetian is going to be one of the coastal cities. And if the map allows for it, shit, why not?
Yeah. Um,
What's your take?
I have never built it. It is so worthless. It's like, don't get me wrong, I get
Excuse me?
a
Are
free
you
naval
serious?
a free naval unit is great. I get it's like Scythia's ability for naval for but based on naval units. I'm not debating the quality of the ability, but okay, you have to put an industrial zone next to the coast. So you're already decreasing the value of that
Yeah.
industrial zone because there's no
You're literally
adjacency.
building a city specific to this freaking
Yeah,
wonder.
so your industrial zone already has a negative going against it because you could luck into getting a strategic resource on well, I guess oil does exist, so I guess not completely, but that's one resource versus every other resource in the game. So you're already building a subpar industrial zone by putting it next to the coast. So and then it's taking a coastal slot, which could be Colossus, could be Great Lighthouse, could be
Yeah, I know, but by this time, though, those wonders are already
yeah.
built.
Um,
This is my point. You already built all the other stuff.
yeah.
Like, what else are you gonna build
And
in your
but I would
coastal
also
city?
say that this is coming too late. If this was
Yeah,
If Great
yeah,
Lighthouse had this ability and you were
yeah.
getting 2 galleys,
Yeah.
that would be unstoppable. That would be S tier be in domination. But by this point, you're already going, the AI hasn't built any navy, your one boat is 100% of the boats in game. Like,
I mean, if you wanted to make friends with Norway,
yeah.
this is the sure way to do it. Yeah.
I used to plan, but now I just put stuff places. I just go, "This looks like a good place for this," and it's worked out really good for me. I realized that all those minutes of planning just got in the way of me doing better. I'm gonna keep going back to it. A lot of these wonders are worthless because okay, what is it really like, what is Petra really providing? What is Torres really providing? What is Great Zimbabwe really providing? It's not giving you anything for the amount of production that you have to spend so early in the game that you're not ever gonna get back.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, if we look at our list, we're like through two-thirds of wonders in the game. We only have 16 wonders left through industrial, modern, and atomic era.
Yeah,
And we only have six wonders in S tier, and what, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven in A tier. The
but
rest of them, like, you could easily do without. You know what? You can play a game with no wonders at all, and
yeah.
Soger has Khmer game on his YouTube channel. That didn't you finish that under 200?
Under 200. I'm gonna
Oh
do
my god!
another.
I was like, what the hell? That guy is like, you built not a single wonder built, and
I'm
he's still
actually gonna
beating
go through and play another culture and a science game without wonders because I honestly think I can do a sub
better.
200 no wonders science game pretty easily.